drive Pagani is to feel the thrill of flight, to be engulfed in every twist and turn, surge of wind, each joyful shift and boundless ascent.
Nicky, hi. Thank you so much for inviting us to the beautiful Pagani Residences gallery. I wanted to meet you. I've been here before, and so glad you found the time. Thank you so much. Wanted to discuss and do this interview with you for our subscribers about your background, about the project. So if you can tell us where you're from, how long you've been in the US, and about your first businesses, let's discuss.
Certainly. So I was, first of all, thanks for coming here, and really appreciate being able to sit down and talk to you,
Thank you.
And all your subscribers about the Pagani Residences. I was born in the south of France, but I grew up in the US. I grew up in New York and Miami. I moved to Miami when I was 12 years old, so went to high school here and very much grew up here and consider myself an original local almost. Originally started off in finance, working in at JP Morgan investment banking in New York, and then moved back down to Miami at some point in time and started my own real estate company. Initially started off in the brokerage business.
How old were you when you started the brokerage?
I was 28 years old, I want to say, probably 28, 29 years old.
So from corporate America, JP Morgan, to Florida.
Taking the entrepreneurial route and starting my own company, basically.
This is cool.
And I went straight to starting my own brokerage business, basically. You know, I didn't try to go to a larger firm and do that. I just said, you know, I'm going to start my own business. The main objective was really to be in real estate, not necessarily just brokerage, but in, you know, acquiring various pieces of real estate. So that was my longer term vision.
And this was after 08 or?
Yeah, this was after 08.
After
this was
08.
probably in 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. No, not even what I'm saying. It's probably like 2014.
2014,
yeah. And, you know, started the brokerage business. I was always, you know, I got taught several years into it that, you know, learning a really good brokerage business was going to be the opportunity of finding opportunity, basically. It was going to connect you with all the right people, from lenders to finding the right real estate to how to develop it, how to renovate it, GCs, contractors, all that. And so that over time, I think you learn.
So you build a network of professionals.
Building that network, exactly, you can then tap into later on. And so started off buying various types of assets, multifamily, raising capital, industrial.
All in South Florida?
All in South Florida, strictly South Florida. All in Miami, frankly.
Only
in Miami. I know Miami like the back of my hand. It's the market that I know. I've always been asked, oh, why don't you go do something in Georgia or in Tallahassee? It's like, I don't know Georgia and Tallahassee. And I think in any transaction, there's always one party that knows more than the other. You always want to make sure you know which one you are.
Exactly.
And if I'm in Miami, I know which one I am. But if I'm in Georgia, I don't. You know, I'm less confident in that. So I stick to what I know. And so, long story short, got into development. We acquired this site maybe about 5 years ago, and very early on started talking with Pagani about a shared vision. And so I think what's really interesting with the brand is Chris Pagani, Horacio's son, actually lived in Miami for 3 years.
Oh, wow. So you met him here? Or
yeah. So we had connected. I'd gotten connected to him down here. Pagani actually just moved their America's headquarters from California to Miami. About 4 years ago, I want to say. They were in the process of moving them. So there was already a big focus in wanting to develop Miami and put resources here. It was actually even more than 4 years ago that they moved those headquarters here.
So Pagani is very, very unique car company. I mean, a lot of car enthusiasts know about it. I know about Pagani from Top Gear. I loved that show, and I remember Pagani Zonda was like always unique design and fast speed and design.
Yeah.
So what did you take from Pagani brand and how did you incorporate it into the residences?
So that's a really interesting question. I think it's, when you're talking about any sort of branded residence, the question is, how are you going to take what that brand is known for and convert that into a residential experience? What's very unique and why Pagani was so interesting to potentially work with is, yes, Horacio Pagani is very much well known for the designs of his cars, but first and foremost, I'd say he's actually just a designer. He happens to be known for the cars that he's designed, but he's designed anywhere from bicycles to helicopters to planes. And they had actually just launched Pagani Arte, which is actually the furniture that we're sitting on right now. So all this is actually Pagani furniture right here that you're seeing. And so they had developed an entire interior design collection. Now, when a brand already has an entire furniture collection, it's much easier to build off of that into creating a residential expression of a building, because they have effectively the building blocks for what's required for interior design and even exterior design of a building, between materials, patterns, all of that. I think some branded residences have been better executed than others, and the ones that have done better, it's because they had those building blocks. The ones that don't have them, they're making them up, and so it's very hard to connect it correctly. We were very, very fortunate that Pagani had all this, and that's why it made so much sense to do a Pagani residence.
And when did they started basically the interior design?
Pagani Arte, it's got to be, I think, maybe 5-6 years ago, so very, very recently, which is why it's like, once they had already developed this, I said, wow, you already have all of this done. Developing a residence is almost the natural next step. It's an inevitable next step is to do the Pagani residences once you've created all of this, because we're able to now do so much more with it. And so they had that team also at Pagani very much built and designed to work together with the architects, with other interior designers, with the engineers to design and develop their own building.
Very cool. So how involved is Pagani team basically? Very involved, right?
Very. They are, listen, Pagani is known for its attention to detail and its obsessivenness on getting things right. And they are very, very involved.
So attention to detail is...
Yeah. I mean, it's never ending, and it's a good thing. Really, I think allows us to develop an amazing project. But yes, everything from the exterior of the building to the interiors, the entire parking pedestal, for example, we had an initial design that was done, and Horacio didn't like it, and we completely scrapped it and redesigned it from scratch.
Wow.
And that's been done on several other things in the building as well. So I mean, I can tell you, Horacio, Chris, and Leo, which are both his sons, have both been incredibly involved in the project.
Yeah, this is big challenge probably for, like, I'm a developer too. So I mean, tell me from standpoint of challenges, when you started this project, what challenges did you face? How did you build the team for this project initially? And why did you decide to build, as your first larger luxury building, branded residence?
I mean, there's a lot of challenges. There's challenges all along the way, from finding the site to getting the entitlements for the site to putting the team together and selecting the right partners together, and then to actually designing and then eventually executing and building the structure. So I mean, challenges are along the way, but I think as long as you have a really great team around you, you can overcome those challenges. So I think the key is to really pick the right partners. So our architect is Luis Revuelta, which is one of the top architects in South Florida, if not the top architect in South Florida. He's built 80 to 100 high-rise condos in Miami. He's been here since, 50, 60 years. He's been designing and building. So having, I think, a really great architect is how you overcome these challenges and find solutions as they come up. Our interior design team is A++, which works in partnership with Pagani. Although Pagani obviously has its own interior design team, you still need to have local experience and somebody who specifically works with...
Did you get to receive the approval from Pagani on architect and...
Everything. They were familiar with our entire team that we put in front of them. Absolutely. I mean, listen, this is like something you want to build together. Now, Pagani obviously trusts us to pick and recommend the right architects and engineers to select, because they don't necessarily have the localized knowledge of who to work with. That's something that, as the developer, I bring to the table. And so they very much rely on us to build that team, but also then work in collaboration with them to make sure that their vision is being executed in the correct way. I mean, listen, there's certainly challenges where sometimes Pagani might want to do something that isn't feasible from a development standpoint. Obviously, a lot of their infrastructure is around building cars, and what you might be able to do in a car, you might not be able to apply to 70 units in a building. So sometimes there's certainly, how do we take the same design intent and make it feasible, or is this just not going to be feasible at all?
So you're in between as a developer, the brand and their design requirements, and basically general contractor or implementation. And you have to find the solutions.
There's a lot of different ideas that kind of sometimes get put out there. We're like, there's no way for us to be able to do this as much as we like to. Other times we're like, you know what, let's see if we can find a way to do this. I'll give you one very small example, for example, which is, again, I think just a good example of them obsessing over details and really having that attention to detail. We had a design meeting where Horacio and the whole team flew down to Miami. So they come down pretty regularly actually to work with our interior designers and architects and really go over through the residence lounge and the apartments and really review the handles that are being selected for the doors and everything and making sure that's right. And at one point in time, Horacio was talking about the doors and asking, you know, how do the doors open and close? What is the door experience in the units? And in my mind, I was thinking inside my head, I was like, I don't really understand the question. It's a door, like it opens and closes.
It's open and
like,
closes, that's it.
Like, where are we going with this? Like, what do you want me to tell you, to be honest?
Because in Pagani, the doors opens like this. So in the apartment.
But the door experience was very important to Horacio because for him, that is the first experience that a client has with a car. So your first touch point with a car is the door. And in a certain sense, your apartment also, the first experience to your unit is the door. So he really wanted to understand that. And we were talking about the latch mechanisms in the door. And I was like, listen, a latch mechanism is a latch mechanism here. I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel for you. But he really didn't like that the latch is visible when the door is open so that you can see that latch. And I was like, again, I don't know about reinventing how a door works here, but our interior designer had an idea. She was like, listen, there's actually a new mechanism that has recently been developed that is a magnetic latch system that effectively doesn't keep that nub outside the door. It's actually locked in through a magnet. And when you close the door, the magnet pulls it out, so your door is closed. And so it actually keeps a very flush door at all times. So now we've implemented that in every single one of our unit doors is this invisible latch mechanism in the door. Very small detail that you can't really market or we can't talk about it. You know, we're not going to sell a unit just because of that, but it's a little touch point that has been done because it's Pagani, because it's that kind of detail that matters. It's because you're looking out for those types of ideas. So that's where there's been, I think, some really interesting and great ideas that have been integrated into the building. Again, tiny little detail, but you're doing this 100 times actually then develops a really great product.
Buying Pagani cars, I mean, they're also very attention to details. Probably they want to see it in the units as well. And I used to have a door company, so I know all about doors and I know how hard to implement what you just explained. So it's tremendous amount of effort, but you're doing that and this is amazing. Tell us about the project itself. How many units? Interior-wise, what unique features it will have? Because I have a lot of partners and our viewers. They will wanted to hear about that. Have a lot of friends who owns super unique cars in Italy, and they would love to hear the details about the building itself.
So there's a lot of stuff to talk about in this building, but to start, it's 30 stories and it's only 70 units. So it's a boutique building. All units are corner apartments. So there's only 4 units per floor, all corner apartments, which is always the most desirable unit. The reason for that is that Pagani doesn't have an entry-level car. And part of the conversation that we had very early on is, if you're gonna do a building, how do we create a building where all the units are the best units? Just, because always there's one unit that's not as good. Here it's like, well, we have to make all corner units. And so that's what we did. It's all corner units. Elevators open up directly into your apartment. Directly there. You have 360 waterfront views. So regardless of the apartment that you have, you're sitting in the middle of Biscayne Bay between Miami and Miami Beach. And so you have waterfront views on all sides. Another great reason why corner units works very well. All units also have 11-foot ceilings. That's something normally that you would find in a penthouse. Most units are doing 9 feet. Again, the idea here is every single unit has to be an incredible unit. Pagani doesn't have an entry-level car. We don't have an entry-level apartment.
11 feet, it's very good. On all floors?
Every single unit. Penthouse has 13.
13, wow. Yeah, super spacious.
And then we have a rooftop pool, the 30th floor, that again has 360 waterfront views with cold plunge and hot tub, barbecue area. On the 29th floor, we have steam room, sauna, and gym. Inspired by the Dolomites, the steam room and the sauna are waterfront views. So oftentimes the steam room and the sauna is tucked in a very dark corner. In the furthest area of the building, corner of the building. Here we actually took that sauna and steam room. We put on the water from the 29th floor. You're going to have views looking over towards the ocean. It's going to be spectacular.
Sauna some of my partners too, and business partners and clients, they love saunas. It's super good for your health. And if you have a view in the sauna.
You can stay there a long time. And then on the 8th floor is where we have the other amenities. So we've got a residence lounge, we've got a library to be able to work from, with a conference room, and then we have media room and a game room, a Pagani game room experience, basically, where they're designing all
So
these
you have
customized. Not going to be. I don't think we're going to have a driving experience, but it's going to be all customized. Pagani pool tables, dartboards, backgammon sets, a whole media room. It's very very cool.
What about the parking? Can you park the car yourself?
Sure, absolutely. So you have both valet and self-parking. So every unit comes with at least one deeded spot. Some units come with 2. We're also going to have 8 private garages that are going to be for sale.
Inside the
parking garage that are enclosed and air conditioned.
Very cool.
You also have a Pagani
That
lounge.
was my question because I know some owners of cars, they wanted them to be air conditioned and have their own private space.
We also have a Pagani lounge in the garage where only Pagani cars can park, basically. So it's a dedicated area where those cars can park. We also have 8 guest suites which people can purchase as well, that are separate from their unit, that they can turn either into their private gym or their own office or their mother-in-law quarters, whatever it is that you like to convert that into. And then in terms of the units, as I mentioned, we have 70 of those. They range in size from 2 bedrooms to 4 bedrooms, not including the Sky Residence and the Penthouse, which are 4 or 5 bedroom units. But the other typical units are between 2 to 4 bedrooms, 2,000 square feet to 3,300 square feet. Very large, and I think what's also very unique about them is they all have massive terraces. So the 2-bedroom or smallest unit, that's 2,000 square feet, has an 850 square foot outdoor terrace with 11-foot deep balconies. Because I think what's really important with terrace space is not just that you have a wraparound terrace, but you really need depth. You really need big depth to be able to create an extension from your interior to exterior space. And so all the units have massive terraces.
What about finishes inside?
Sure. So we have a lot of different customizations. Pagani, again, is, known for...
It comes finished.
It's absolutely fully finished. Pagani is known for its craftsmanship, its attention to detail, and its hand-curated nature. We apply the same principle to the units. So we have a lot of different options, far more customization than I think that you'll find in any other building. So for flooring, we have 3 different types of flooring. For example, we have a tile, a white oak, and then a Pagani chevron flooring. So it's a flooring that Pagani has specifically designed itself, which is a chevron pattern with these titanium and aluminum inlays that go through. We actually have it over there. It's spectacular. Cool. Really cool. And then in terms of the kitchen, we have 4 different types of stone finishes, 3 different types of cabinet finishes. And obviously if a client comes in and says that they want to do something else, we're certainly available to have that conversation, explore how to go ahead. Again, because we're doing 70 units, it's feasible for us to have these conversations. And because it's Pagani, it's almost part of their core principle to customize everything.
Let's say if the client wants to combine 2 units, for example.
We can do that.
You can do
We can do that as well, correct.
So to have half of the floor.
Correct, exactly. We can create where you have one elevator that gets shared. You can create a whole floor that goes from east to west and have a spectacular flow-through unit, which is very similar to the Sky Residences that we have. So the Sky Residences are half-floor units that flow from east to west and have special customized designs that have been done by Pagani for that unit.
Cool. Well, let's talk about the timelines when you're planning to break the ground and in the completion stage, and what the prices right now at the starting point, because I believe you will have increases gradually as we get closer.
Absolutely. So we have the sales center that's right now on site. We are breaking ground in the first half of next year, and the project is to be completed in late 2028.
2028. So groundbreaking is 2026. And
2 to 2.5 years to basically complete the project is what we're looking at. Exactly. So we're very, very close to finally being able to break ground on this project and bring it to life. North Bay Village, I think, is also a really unique destination to be in Miami. I think it's really important to touch on the location because North Bay Village is going through a massive renaissance. And for those either who live in Miami or want to live in Miami, has become what is, say, the central point of Miami.
It's very good accessibility to
everything. You are literally in the middle of everything that one would want to do in Miami. It's being branded as the 15-minute city because you're no more than 15 minutes away from Brickell, downtown, Miami Beach, Bal Harbour, Design District, Wynwood, all these things while still being located, I'd say, in an area that's well protected and quiet. You're not in overly chaotic or touristy areas. It's actually very much a true neighborhood and community. I think one of the very few that remains in Miami, frankly. And so it gives you kind of the balance of the best of both worlds, where you can still be in a neighborhood where it's very quiet and peaceful, surrounded by these beautiful Miami views that we're known for, but also being very close to a lot of the activities that Miami's able to offer. And in terms of price point, I should answer you that. Units start at $3.7 million and go up from there.
No, it's for what you get. It's
The quality is spectacular. I mean, really, I think people who have come to the sales center, who've seen the project, have all said, you know, from a quality standpoint, this is really what differentiates and makes this building, I think, incredibly unique. It comes fully finished with closets, bathrooms, kitchens. This is truly a turnkey apartment and turnkey experience.
I have, I think, last question to you.
Sure.
What is your superpower?
That's an interesting question. My superpower, I think probably finding the right people to work with. I think I've learned to be able to spot really great talent at the end of the day and really find people who are equally passionate as me and I'd say smarter than me at their specific jobs.
Yep.
I think, you know, when you're building a development, it's very important to surround yourself with smarter and more capable people than yourself, basically.
Yeah.
I ultimately want to build a team where I'm the weakest link, almost. So I want an architect that knows 1,000 times more about architecture than anybody else. And I think building that team is critical to creating great projects.
And the team can, you know, help you to do help you with your vision, help you with your plans.
Correct.
And I think this is you started with Pagani Residences. I wish you best luck and lots of sales to sell as many units as you can, finish the project, and next one, I don't even know what you're gonna do next, because you started with Pagani, so next one probably will be, I don't know, highest building in Miami or something else. It's very cool. Yeah. I think you're very inspirational person, honestly, for me as a developer too, because you put your starting point very high and you're doing that, you're achieving it. Again, lots of respect to you, to your team, and wishing you only success.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Let's we will try to, and we will help to sell you. We have an event coming up very soon, and again, to learn more about the project, go into description and ask me any questions, because I can ask Mickey directly if we need to customize some units for you, or we need to, there is basically, as I understood, there is no, the developer can meet your needs in this project, and Pagani and Mickey doing an amazing job here.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll be able to work together on some of this very soon, and hopefully the first of many.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. This was Pagani Residences.